You're listening to the Last Man In podcast. Covering Winnipeg hockey and the NHL.
Scheifele dances his way in. Scheifele scores! Blake Wheeler finds the far corner. And the Winnipeg Jets win it in overtime. Woo, woo, woo.
Last Man In podcast, episode 138. Unlike movie trailers, we like to tease the things we're going to do before we actually go through them. So you have to listen to the whole thing to get the whole picture. Unlike certain movie trailers that like to reveal everything. If you don't get what I'm referring to, the new Spider-Man trailer came out today for Spider-Man Homecoming. It revealed the entire plot.
You know what I started doing?
We know he's going to graduate.
Do you know what you should do? I've started doing this. Watch the trailers, but don't put the sound on. It makes a big difference. Then you get the visual, but you don't get the audio. Because sometimes it's like you hear lines and you're like, oh, good.
Hold on.
So I know
do
that's
that for a
happen.
horror movie. It would be like, why is that doll in the hallway? Why is it there?
Pretty much. But for like the average movie, that's what I've started doing.
That's a good
See,
idea.
the one I'm most excited for, to be honest, Star Wars. And it's going to come out next month.
Watch the trailer because they're going to spoil the whole
trailer's
damn
out
movie.
next month?
Well, people are theorizing it's going to be out next month because Star Wars
They
Celebration.
apparently showed a bunch
episode 8.
They apparently showed a bunch of the movie to some people. Like,
Well, they have to test screen it, right?
Yeah.
It's the same with, like, to go on a movie tangent here, Suicide Squad, people saw it in March.
Okay.
So I don't know if you guys know the story.
and then
of,
DC cut half the movie out.
Exactly. So what actually happened was there was 2 different edits of Suicide Squad. So they showed the first edit Suicide Squad in March of last year. And this edit was like, people liked it, they enjoyed it, they had a positive experience. And then they decided to change everything because Batman vs. Superman was doing so poorly. They're like, well, we're going to redo this, do a bunch of reshoots. And they got a trailer house to come in and change a bunch of the clips around. And that's why it seems that, like, everyone, when they're introduced, has, like, a trailer associated to them almost because that's how they chopped it up.
Oh.
So it's not smooth, right? And that's one of the biggest knocks in the movie. There's like 20 minutes just missing randomly. That's from the additional edits. So essentially it took 2 edits and shoved them together, and that's what we got in theaters here in North America.
And apparently,
in
if you
August.
watch the first trailer they put out, like a year before it came out, half the stuff in the trailer is not even in the movie.
Yeah. Which does actually happen.
Which happened to
sometimes.
Apparently Rogue One, they reshot the whole like last like battle scene.
Yes, they've done
and
that.
There's a bunch in the trailer that's not in the movie.
They've done that, but
so maybe Spider-Man will change everything.
Exactly. J.J. Abrams is actually known to do that as well because there are scenes in the trailers, or at least in the test footage and the teasers that aren't in the full movie from Star Wars Episode 7. But yes, Star Wars Episode 8 is coming out in December of this year. Then the Han Solo movie comes out next May, and then Episode 9, I believe, is the next year in May. I don't think that'll be
I think they moved Han Solo to December.
Oh, did they already? Because originally, Episode 8 was supposed to be released in May of this year to coincide with the 40th anniversary of the release of A New Hope. So, if you didn't know, we're going to talk about hockey today.
But while we're on the movie thing, test screenings, I heard a funny story too, that when Anchorman 2 came out, they showed it to, like, they invited a bunch of, like, friends and people to come watch the movie, and they, like, I guess they recorded the theater, the audio, to, like, gauge how funny people thought it was. And allegedly, Seth Rogen sat, like, right beside one of the cameras, and he laughed the whole movie. And all you heard when they played the test audio was his laugh. That's all I heard.
Because it's like, from a story standpoint, it's not a very well-sound story movie. But some of the parts in that movie are so funny.
Why are you eating glass? Because I blind!
Blind! When he goes, like...
You shouldn't watch that movie for plot. You should watch it for laughs.
When you go see it for the shark, or when he goes, like, to try to
He's
get the
got a
shark.
pet shark?
Yeah. Or the fight. Oh,
I forget about that.
That movie was
fight
funny.
scene?
That movie was funny.
Are we just going to ignore the fact there's a ghost here?
Oh, yeah, okay. Oh, my goodness.
I don't think you people understand. It's the ghost of Stonewall Jackson.
Yeah, that's it. And then Harrison Ford turns into a werewolf. And Kanye West is like, I've got a great idea for Michael Jackson for a music video. And it's like, oh, that's funny because this is set before Thriller came out. So.
And Brick gets like a laser gun from the future.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen it, we just ruined the entire movie.
We're like a trailer.
Yeah.
A bad trailer.
Bad trailer.
Oh boy.
That shows you how much is going on in the NHL right now.
Not well. Exciting playoff. Like you can't even call the playoff races exciting because all but one team is eliminated in the West. Even then, like LA's got very little chance to make the playoffs. The only interesting stuff is in the East, and it's all over 2 playoff spots. So Islanders, Boston, Toronto, and Tampa are battling for.
At Carolina, they've crept in.
Oh, Carolina's got.
They're 5 points out, and they have 2 games in hand.
Of who?
Whoever's in the second wild card.
Which
So Boston.
They have 80 points.
Yeah.
Or no, 79 points. And they're like 7-2-1 or something.
Okay, who's in the
last 10
first
games.
wild card right now?
I'll pull it.
Rangers are in the first wild card. No one's touching them. Rangers could still have a bid to get the President's Trophy this season. So
Okay, so
They're
second.
10 points behind Washington.
How many
so I
teams
doubt
are
it.
fighting for the one? Boston,
The one-
Tampa, Carolina.
Boston's got 84
And
points.
Toronto.
They are in the second wild card. Tampa's got 83. The Islanders have 82, and Carolina has 80. So
I want
Carolina's only 4 points out, and they have a game in hand on Boston.
I want Tampa to win.
And they're only 5 points behind
Over
Toronto,
Toronto?
but they played the same amount of
No, I
games.
want Tampa to make the final wild card spot. Toronto's in the second spot in the Metro, right? Or in
Toronto's
the,
third
in the Atlantic.
There we go.
third in the Atlantic.
No, but I mean,
It's
How
gonna
about
be-
those Flyers? How are
It's
they
going to
doing?
be Montreal, Ottawa.
I already
1-2.
told you they packed it in.
Okay,
And
so
the Jets were officially eliminated yesterday.
Yes.
Oh, really?
Get it.
Yeah.
uh,
Every team but LA's out in the West.
okay.
And LA's 11 points back with 8 games left. So,
But I think because they're eliminated from the playoffs, we have to talk about why they're eliminated this season. Talk about some
because
other
they didn't
stuff.
get enough points to mathematically catch the last place team in the playoffs. Therefore, they cannot make playoffs.
Boom. Scienced.
Wow.
Boom. Lawyered.
Talk about Tucker Pullman, of course, because there's a lot of talk
The
around
pool
him.
boy.
Yes. Any other NHL stuff you want to talk about, Cameron?
Yeah, Sidney Crosby had quite the week.
Oh, his slash.
We'll get to it, but
Yes.
yeah.
Slash.
Some fun fact about Sean Monahan and Jonas Gustafsson. You remember him? And then other than that,
The monster is how I thought he was referred
The
Yeah.
to.
one-time Winnipeg Jet.
and then a few suspensions, but that's about it. That's
A
all
few
we got.
suspensions. I think I know some of the suspensions.
Yeah. Well, we'll start with
Oh,
the
and by the
Jets.
way, Carolina is currently beating Detroit 2-0. So they could be 2 points out of a playoff spot.
Wait,
I'm okay with this.
Detroit's officially
I would like
right,
this.
done, right?
Yeah, they're done.
So
No, they're not- no, they're not
25
yet.
years.
They're not done
Not
yet?
official.
I'm calling it.
The only team that's officially out in the East is New Jersey.
Who the Jets are playing right
Which
now.
is ironic that the East is considered a better conference this year, yet... Well, actually, no, that does make sense. I take it back. Only one team's eliminated. That means most of the teams are still alive, so yes, it is better.
Well, there's just more mediocrity in that division or that conference. They've got the 4 top teams and then just everyone else.
Detroit's got 7 games left. They're only 10 points out.
They're not getting in.
I don't know.
You guys,
Run the table.
Detroit, toss it in. Get a decent pick. Start your 1-year rebuild.
Oh, we also
You'll
have
be
to talk
back.
about Eddie Lack because that
Clear
happened last
the
night.
track, Eddie Lack.
Did you hear what happened last night?
I did. Yeah, I saw what happened last
Yeah,
night.
I didn't see it. All I saw was the players gathered around him, so maybe not clear the track is proper terminology right now.
It's clear the
You
track,
monster!
It's
You
Eddie,
monster!
clear the track. It's Eddie Shack. That's what
There
it
you go.
was.
Perfect.
Yeah, back in
Okay.
the day. I don't know who Eddie Shack is.
So, what were our expectations of the Jets at the beginning of the season?
Playoffs, 100%.
No.
They brought in a generational player,
But-
and they.
so-
What do you mean? Like, how do you only
There's
finish?
so many other holes.
How many points did they finish with last year?
They
Doesn't
had
matter.
78.
They had 78. They're at 75 right now, so they'll probably do better.
Okay. But by bringing in a guy who scored 30 plus goals, and is bringing, 55 plus points? You have Scheifele that's scoring...
He's got 61.
Okay. So 60 plus points. You have another guy who's at 70 plus points.
They're going to have 2 guys over 70. They're going to have...
Who's the two? Scheifele's already at.
Wheeler's at like 67 or
Yeah.
something.
Oh, Ehlers.
And he's ripping it up.
Wheeler.
Wheelers.
Oh, Wheeler, okay.
Wheelers.
Sorry.
Ehlers
my
is
bad.
at like 58. So they're going to have 2 60s, 2 70s. They'll probably have 2 30 goal scorers, unless Scheifele doesn't score in the last 6 games.
Oh, I can't go back. I was gonna say I could go back
So-
and see your predictions, but
So
I've
Offensively, they've turned it around.
Offensively, they have.
I mean, you look at Perreault. Matthew Perreault's got what? He's on 21 points in his last 17 games.
Yep.
So even he's ripping it up now.
He's showing Vegas why they should invest in the Matthew Perreault.
He's making the Jets' job a lot harder.
What I noticed about the Jets this year is like they continually chased offense at the expense of defense. Like they were so offensive this year that it hurt them defensively. So, like, maybe... I'm not saying, don't score goals. That's crazy. Obviously score goals. But they were so good offensively that I think they focused too much on offense in terms of practice, like power play and all that they should have practiced a little more on defense. I can't even say, like, that's an easy out. But, like, my God. I fully expected them to make the playoffs or at least be a wild card. Go ahead. You're looking at me real silly.
Austin Matthews just scored again.
No, what does that now? What does that do? What does that do?
They're up 1-0 over.
How many points does Austin Matthews have now?
I think he's now tied with.
No, he'll be one ahead because they were like.
I wanted to hear it from him.
They were dead even going into tonight. Like they had the same amount of goals, same amount of assists.
Yeah, he's now at 35 goals on the year.
It's kind of amazing that
incredible. He's now passed actually. Austin Matthews with that goal has now passed Wendell Clark for the all-time leader in goals for a Leafs rookie.
That's kind of crazy.
100-year.
Yeah.
Heritage, and he grabbed it this year. So it's something to obviously marvel at, regardless. But back to I think that the Jets personally weren't necessarily a playoff team. I thought they were going to be a fringe team. Maybe I said playoffs. I think we need to expect playoffs out of this team, and I think they need to be exciting night in, night out. I think they were exciting night in, night out. I don't remember any games off the top of my head where they were out of the game at any point.
The game they played a game against Montreal. They got smoked. Like home game, that was bad. They've been close all year. They haven't been consistent enough. They had good runs where they go 4-0-1 or 4-0-2 like 3-0-1, but they'd have the loss in between, so it wouldn't give them a 3-gamer. But
yeah, they need to string wins together.
Like they had a couple times where they were 5 or 6 games in a row with a point.
Yeah,
and points in 7 out of 8 games. So they had their moments. They just every time you thought that they'd go on a roll, the next game they'd come out and it'd be a dud, and that's the problem.
They'd have they'd have a couple good games. Somebody big would go down. Like Scheifele, Wheeler, Ehlers are only the only guys I think in their top 6 that have played all year. Right?
Well, I saw a stat. I don't remember how many games
Stafford were all so I can go look right now how many man games lost they've had this year. But
it was 200 and some odd. It was the second most in the league. So that you can't say that hasn't hurt them big.
Well,
time.
they haven't played a game. They've played 7 minutes this year healthy. That's it.
Yeah.
Until Brian Little went down for 2 months. So realistically, they've been.
But they didn't have
year.
their starting night lineup. They didn't have it in I think it was almost January till they actually had that full lineup in a game. So they're going to be a 500 team. They might be a game or two above or below. But, I mean, they've had, individually, they've grown a lot. Like, certain players have done really well, but as a team, they've kind of stalled this year. So, I think, that's the best way to look at it. Laine's been fantastic. He's far exceeded what anyone thought he would do.
I expected
Shifley's
gone. Expect leading the team.
Shifley's gone above and beyond his last year.
Yeah, but also
Trouba's been fantastic. Morrissey's. No one saw Morrissey being this steady, this fast his first year.
I did.
Maybe, but
I've been a proponent of.
Ehlers is going to be 60-point guy in his second year.
Yeah.
There's been lots of individual growth, but as a team, they have not grown. And the goaltending's hurt them, and their poor defensive plays hurt them.
Now, obviously, there's going to be tons of time to talk about this as the summer's going to be long. Do they go out and try to change this team defensively and bring in a defensive specialist, someone who can play that side of the puck very well? Because right now, the way I look at it, as a forward. And the way I look at it right now, who's their best faceoff guy? Brian Little?
Yeah.
Right? Brian Little? He doesn't strike me as a defensive center. He's not the guy I'd want to take the portion of my faceoffs. He's stronger if he's taking faceoffs in the offensive zone. And they don't have a defensive zone guy. I know they're trying to it's almost like they're trying to groom Adam Lowry into that position, but I don't know if he's the type of player that's going to flourish in that position. Same way that I don't think Andrew Kopp's going to flourish as a third-line player. I think he'd be a lot better around good players and be a second or first-line player.
Well, I heard a quote last week that they've been doing a review every day on TSN 1290, like Hustler and all this. They do a player every day, and they give them a grade. And they were talking about Armia and Matthias. They were talking about the third line. And that line's been very good, but basically what one of the guys said is if that's their third line next year, they're not a good hockey team because that should be their fourth line.
Like
it's a
Armia,
good because
Lowry?
like it's a very
Lowry,
good
Matthias, Armia.
Oh. It's a very good line, but that should be their fourth line.
And I agree with
if
that.
they want to be a solid team, that should be their fourth line.
So what do you? Oh, so you're expecting?
So they
them
have to
sign?
go. I think they have to go. I mean, maybe not like at least one solid veteran player,
They need to add, they need
like
to
a
add
third
somebody.
line,
And a defensive
like a
guy.
Lee Stepniak or like an Eric Fair, someone who's
Michael Frolik.
played and who is
We're all naming players the Jets have had in the
I
past.
know that's the problem, but someone of that caliber.
Ryan Boyle, but I don't think he could play third line minutes.
So it's well then maybe put him on the fourth line, put Lowry on the third line. I don't know.
And then you could run like Kopp, Lowry, Matan maybe.
You could even throw Armia on a higher line. I mean, they have to bring in something up front. I think they're bottom 2D. They need to go out and get two solid defensemen. Unless Tucker Poolman signs and he jumps right into the NHL, which I don't see him doing.
Well, I want to talk about that in a second, but I'm just trying to think who, like, when you think about Las Vegas and what they're going to be trying to do, they're going to be trying to add, they're going to be taking a bunch of crap contracts at some points. It's going to be a tough year for them, but I don't know how good the free agent market will be for that. They might have to go out and trade for it.
And
As in the Jets go out and trade.
Jets
they're
will
going to have
go
to
out and
make
trade for
yeah. I don't know that they're going to be able to attract any free agents here until they're a good team.
Yeah, until they're consistent.
And even if it's maybe like a bottom line guy, they're going to need to make a move. Like goaltending, I think it's going to be a lot easier for them to get a goalie through a trade than it is through free agency. Unless they overpay big time, which maybe they will, but I don't. That's not really their.
They've been their MO.
The only way teams like them, teams that are floundering, the only way that those teams get players is if they overpay, and lots of teams do. But the Jets don't seem like that kind of a team, and that's maybe that's hurting them.
Yeah, they need their Eric Stahl, but obviously those don't come around very often.
No,
you need a guy that's going to overperform, who's been good in the past. But
I don't know the free agent market this year.
I don't know it either.
Especially with Vegas floating around, like they might just be
it's going to
throwing.
be interesting.
They might be throwing money at like any free agent who they think could help them out, which would make sense.
The expansion draft's going to be interesting to me. And even if you want to talk about the Jets, it's to the point now where you have to go 7-3-1. You can't go 4-4.
Oh, for forwards.
Like you have to.
So then who are you leaving unprotected?
I think you have to find a way to get rid of Toby. Maybe not get rid of him, but you have to find a way for him to waive his no trade. And if that means that, if he says, I'll waive it if you can trade me to a contending team, then you do it, even if you don't get much back. Because you cannot protect Tyler Myers and say he's been injured. Maybe they won't take him, but I think they would.
Okay.
So, but if you go 7-3-1, you go Little, Wheeler, Scheifele are all protected. Then you can protect Lowry, you can protect Armia, you can protect Perreault, and say Andrew Kopp. Who does that leave that you're going to lose? Maybe Sean Matthias or someone like that?
Yeah.
If you go 4-4, you're picking between Armia, Lowry, and Perreault. You're picking one, and you're losing one of the other two. For nothing. Do you want to give away Matthew Perreault for nothing? That's stupid in my opinion. I know people say that they'll leave him unprotected. If you're not going to protect him, trade him.
And get value for him.
Then get something for him.
Because they got burned doing that once already with
he's
Frozen.
in the 40 to 50 point range. He's been hurt every year he's been here, but he's been in the 40 point range every year. His possession numbers are good. So why would you give that away for nothing?
That's a good point.
That's the way. And like Adam Lowry, he's got 14 goals this year. I don't think you can give him away. I don't think you can say that you can just give him away for nothing.
Yeah.
Honestly, Joel Armia, as much as people like him, he's the odd guy out of the three right now. but you can't. You have to, if you go 4-4, you can only keep one of, you can only protect one of the three, not two.
And I'm assuming, it'd be the Perot contract because it's
Well,
got a contract.
Or do they protect 4-4, protect Perot, and then make a deal with Vegas to say don't take Adam Lowry, we'll give you a second round pick.
Do you think if we made a phone call to Montreal, they would trade Carey Price for Dustin Byfuglien?
Yes. You know what they need? They need a predominant right-handed defenseman.
The Jets would make him
be both offensively strong and be a tough guy. I don't think they've ever had a strong two-way defensive guy who's powerful, can shoot the puck, score, and lets his emotions kind of drive him to be successful.
That's true.
And I think it also helps that he's a minority. I don't think they've ever had somebody predominant in Montreal who they've looked up to as a defenseman who's been a minority.
Big question, though. Can Buff go hunting outside of Montreal and fishing? That's
For those who don't know, I was making a joke about PK Subban.
Yeah. And if you're listening to this podcast and you aren't aware of that, well, I think you found us by accident.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, finally, a movie theater trailer podcast. I've been waiting for this. When are they getting back to the good stuff?
Who is this? Who's this Tucker Pullman character? Is he related to Deadpool?
Alter ego.
Yeah, a distant cousin.
I know it might not be. Let's say they can't move Toby. I'm still with Dan with the 7-3-1. It's paining me to say these words. Do look at trading Tyler Myers. He's been hurt ever since he's come here. He's been up and down. Granted, I understand he's been given a shitty hand with what happened with his kid, and luckily his kid persevered through it, and from all signs is healthy now. And I know that he had the family troubles, but.
That was the family trouble.
I know.
Oh, okay. No, I
know
had to
that
say that out loud in my head.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's tough. It's not going to be an easy...
Because it's not like this year's market isn't still strong for defensemen. It's still... There's some quality defensemen out there. You've got... let me just look. I've got the Hockey News top 30. So
Perfect,
you got Shattenkirk on the defensive side. You have...
What is this? Top 30 what, players this year?
No, top 30, defensemen.
This year?
This summer.
Yeah,
UFA
is coming up this year. So you got Shattenkirk, got Alzner. I don't think they're going to go down the Oduya train again.
Alzner's going to Vegas for sure.
Probably. Dmitry Kulikov, who's been hurt for most of the year, but has had his ups and downs with Buffalo.
Okay.
Trevor Daley, who could be a good fill-in guy.
He'd be decent.
But I found our centerman, but I'm going to save that for a second here. Just going down. Also, goaltender. Why not Thomas Greiss? Bring him in. He's had experience.
Didn't they just sign him?
Oh, no, they did sign him. Sorry.
Yeah.
This is an old article then.
Okay.
Chris Russell's there. Once again, I don't know how solid he is.
If I can quote you, pretty sure you said he's got the worst first pass in the league.
Oh, no. Oh, I know that.
The worst first pass.
Like, analytically, the worst first pass out of any defenseman in all of the NHL.
But his stats on everything now, it's terrifying.
But his advanced
He
stats
hates
still
yellow
suggest
Gatorade,
he's
not
a
a fan.
below average defender. And it is true, his advanced stats are very weak.
And
but
you are also
it looks like he's going to
assuming-
re-sign with Edmonton.
You are also assuming that those guys are going to want to sign with Winnipeg.
No, I'm just saying these are the guys that
Well,
can
that's-
target.
It's hard for the Jets to get guys right now.
What?
So they have to hold on to everybody that they can.
Michael Del Zotto as a depth guy. As
For the Jets?
For next year, it'd be worth a shot.
Not terrible. If I'm comparing Del Zotto and the other options are like Melchiori, Postma, Brian Strait, I'm definitely taking Del Zotto.
Another
but Del
option,
Zotto
too.
does get hurt. He does do the pinch and get burned often. So you're going to want to pair him with someone who's a little faster and or more defensive minded.
But there was another option, like a guy like last year they tried to get Kyle Quincy. They tried to sign him. He would be a good guy to get as your maybe sixth defenseman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it works. I think Trevor Daley would be a good addition as well.
I mean, they cannot come back with Postma and Sherratt. I'm okay if Sherratt's on the team and maybe he's the seventh guy or he rotates out. But they can't keep coming back with these guys year after year.
Oh yeah, no, but
it's not working.
Sherratt,
Postma's not an NHL defenseman on any other team. I'm sorry, but he's not. Name one team that he's a starter every game. None.
Yeah,
and there's a reason that when you look at a lot of the guys that the Jets have let go to free agency, they don't get signed by anybody. So like there has to be a reason.
Well, Sherrod, they might have to sign Sherrod again. 'Cause
I'm okay
someday, somewhere, he'll get some Kadri. Oh, he'll get him.
Yeah.
Best post. My favorite interview by a Jet so far this year is Ben Sherrod after Kadri hit him.
Oh, what did he say?
Because he was just like so like coy about it. He's like, "Oh, he'll get his. Maybe not this year. Maybe not next year, but eventually, someone will get him." And I'm like, "All right, Ben Sherrod, easy." He's an NHL player. I'm not, but it looked silly. Don't say things like that.
Okay, probably the one guy that I think the Jets need is Tom Sestito. He is a free agent this year.
Can we give him Toby?
Hey, he brings in the intangibles such as truculence and gumption. Yeah.
This guy is full of playing with probably one of the best players in the world. This centerman that the Jets should target. He's just played the last 2 years with one of the best wingers in the world. Has been tossed around both the Eastern and Western Conference, but was tossed from the West to the East. Won a cup recently. And he was part of one of the most infamous lines from last year's playoffs. Yes, Nick Bonino.
Is he a free agent?
He is a free agent next year.
Well, but they're gonna have to make a play at someone.
Can we please have a Bonino?
Because you have to think too. I'm pretty sure Kyle Connor will be on the Jets next year.
He's not a centerman; he's a winger.
But I still think he'll be there. So there's one of your. So that's one of your spots, right?
There's so many spots.
Roslovic, I made my first call up. He's not strong on the face-off dot. At least
he's having
from the Moose games that I've watched.
But he's their leading point guy this year.
Wait, is he even a face-off man? I've seen him.
He's centerman.
Oh, he is. Okay, no, because
there
was a few he didn't take.
I still feel like they'll give him another year potentially. Yeah. But he might make the team.
He's
next
first
year.
call up for sure.
I mean, Brendan Lemieux might make the team as like the fourth line piss and vinegar guy.
Who?
Brendan Lemieux.
They've never had a guy
why did he get hurt? He got hurt.
Something with his knees.
But
okay.
But they have
to
look
Thornton's done at the end of this year, right?
Yes. They have to look outside
Hallelujah.
Yeah.
Hallelujah.
I wouldn't be shocked if he gets into player personnel somehow. Like just stays with the team.
Someone will sign him to a two-way like cheap.
The Jets.
He'll stay in hockey either way, for sure.
It's to the
I'm
point
just happy
where
he's not going to be a player on the ice of the Winnipeg Jets. I've cursed.
You say that now.
Yeah, I know.
Watch.
They're going to sign him, Melchiori, and Sherratt and Postma all on the same day.
I mean, they can re-sign Postma and Melchiori and these guys, but put them in the AHL. They don't need to be on your roster. I mean, they're just. I don't know.
They're not great.
The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result, and it's becoming every year. This definition applies more and more to what they're doing. I get they're trying to build a winning culture, but can you name me a core group of players that has been together for this long that's never done anything?
Nope.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm pretty sure Wheeler.
Right?
No, it was Little who did it. It was just it was a
what did they
quote off an
accomplish?
interview.
They made the playoffs.
Yeah.
Sure, but that's it.
No, that's what
in
Little was
6
saying.
years.
Little's I'm only getting older. Like the good guys, sure, they're good and they're young, but I'm getting older. I kind of want to win. I've played 4 playoff games in my entire life.
Yeah.
Like for the NHL, obviously, but still,
and he lost all 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He did have one sweet goal though, where he just stopped and clapped it right from me to you.
Yeah.
I
would too.
I was like, "What are you doing?" Yeah, baby.
Yeah.
I'm pretty jacked when he scored that one.
They've got to look outside their organization next year.
Yeah, I think it's time to make that.
And they have to get it. They can't settle for an Al Montoya or a Chris Mason goalie. They need a Marc-Andre Fleury, a Ben Bishop goalie. That's what they need.
Leadership, veteran leadership. That is
they need a starting
goalie. 1A,
goalie.
1B type deal. More, you'd be the 1A.
Whoever they bring in is 1A.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's your job to lose, but it's also your job to guide.
Like if you're going to do a split, 50-30, right? The guy they bring in will get 50 games. Hellebuck maybe 30. If they're in a playoff spot, maybe that
didn't Hellebuck do that last year? Like the 50-30 or something? Well, he crushed it.
Went down. He came in. He played really well.
He did very good.
Yeah.
I still like the idea of bringing in Jimmy Howard or bringing in
Halak.
No.
Halak.
That other guy from Detroit. Peter Mrazek.
Yeah. It's going to depend what happens with the expansion draft.
Mrazek's not on contract?
He is.
Oh, he is.
They both are.
So they'd have to trade.
Yeah.
Well, they're going to protect
Pretty
Mrazek.
sure Mrazek's their goalie.
They're going to protect him.
They want to go forward with, what's his face?
Jimmy Howard?
No.
Condon.
No, Condon's on Ottawa.
Confer. What's the guy's name?
Condon's another Montoya.
No,
they need better.
No, who's the guy's name?
Condon's actually been very good for Ottawa.
No, what's
I
the
know
guy's
he's been
the
good,
other
but
guy?
Montoya was very good
I thought
for
his name was
Winnipeg.
Condon. Come on, what's Detroit's depth? Let's pull her up.
They need a goalie that gets them into the playoffs.
I'm trying to think of the
That's what
goalie's
they need.
name, and I can't think of it.
Oh, you know what I liked? I saw today on Instagram. They're like, first time in so many years, Pavel Datsyuk isn't on team. Detroit's playoff streak ends. Coincidence? And I'm like, no, you've been riding that coattail for a long time. It's about
Careau.
There
Jared
you go.
Careau.
Okay.
I don't know.
My bad.
Yeah.
They can run forward with Mraz. They don't need Howard and Mrazek on that
I
team.
think their target. I think their favorite guy is Fleury. It's going to depend if he gets picked up in the expansion draft or not.
And it also depends if...
Because I saw some mock predictions today of ESPN guys writing about who they think to be on Vegas, and Fleury wasn't on any of their lists.
Well, you got to think Fleury only has, he's 30?
33.
33.
32
But if you
You're
can
gonna
get him
take
for nothing,
That's a good point.
he has a no trade though. So I mean, if they were going to work something out to get him here, they'd have to.
So the
convince
no
him to come
trade,
here.
if you have a no trade and you're picked up, that still carries over in Vegas, right?
You can't. You're automatically protected if you have no trade.
That's
That's why.
Unless you waive it.
That's why the Jets are in a pickle with Toby. He has no trade. Toby and Buff are the only two guys that have no trades.
Marc-Andre Fleury is 32.
But you
He's
can
got
ask
2
players-
years left after this year. So it takes him to being...
You apparently can ask players to waive that and then leave them
Unprotected.
exposed.
So he's 32. He's got 2 years left. God,
Perfect.
That is perfect.
Perfect.
It's written in the water.
Yeah.
Do it.
The
But-
problem with Trevor Daley right now is he's on LTIR, so I don't even know how
Okay.
good he'll be to go in.
We're also forgetting the factor of Stanley Cup champion status, where those teams just seem to pull contracts out of their asses.
Yeah.
They're like, "Oh, Trevor Daley, do you want 400,000?" The NHL's like, "The minimum's 550." I said 400,000, and they're like, "Okay, I get it," and then it signs the paper anyways. Yeah. Like Chicago does every year somehow. Richard Panik, come on, unbelievable. Or they're like,
Good
"Oh,
deal.
we found this guy out of Russia."
No,
He's
he
okay.
was on the
He
Leafs.
played for Tampa and
No.
Toronto.
This other guy.
Oh, yeah.
We
He's
found
making
this,
up a fake guy.
Yeah, no. Yeah.
Is this real?
We found this guy out of Russia. He's pretty good. He's really good at waking up in the morning and making sweet, sweet bakings. They call him the bread man. And they're like, Artemi Panarin, he's okay, isn't he? Freaking 60 or 70 points back to back. Come on.
Okay.
Or more.
So we gotta wrap this up and
Yep.
move on to something else. To move on to Tucker Perlman. But one thing that you want to see the Jets... The first thing you want to see the Jets do in the offseason.
Well,
Okay, here, I'll
It's
go.
not-
Just one thing.
it's-
Just one
Shovel
thing.
day
It's-
off,
it's
do his
not-
job, and make a move, maybe?
it's not going to be the
Any
first
move.
thing because it's going to wait till after the expansion draft. But
Yeah.
the goaltending, a starting goalie.
I want to see
It's not gonna be-
something
pick-
happen.
A depth player.
Sorry,
A
the
Nick
first thing I
Bonino.
don't want them to do, don't sign Thorburn and Postma again, please. That's the first thing I don't want them to do.
Yeah,
Please
that's-
don't.
That's not...
Mine is just,
Please.
you know what, do an make a trade.
I would renew my
Make
season
trade
tickets.
number 8 of your career.
I would
Mr. Shovel
renew
Day
my
off.
tickets for 5 years if they said we will not sign Chris Thorburn or Paul Postma. Ever.
Didn't you already renew him?
I'll do it again.
Okay.
No,
10-year contract.
another 5. I don't care. Jesus.
Like, I understand the play it safe mentality, but sometimes you just gotta go for it.
Yeah.
time to go for it.
And now's the time when they have to start looking at their prospect pool and saying, what can we get for some of these prospects?
It's as they say when the Jets win, if that's still their win song, Foo Fighters, it's time for them to learn to fly.
Yep.
Guys, I didn't even realize this till the other day. The Philadelphia game was the first game I've been to in over 2 months that they won.
Wow. Do you want to know
That's
That game was.
Do you wanna
know why,
the greatest
Daniel?
game ever.
That's Jets and Moose.
Do you wanna
by
know
the
why?
way. That's Jets and Moose, by the way.
How many games is that? Like 8
Probably
or 9?
4 or 5 Moose games and probably like 10 or 12 Jets games.
Sheesh.
Do you want to know why? I'm 3-0 this year.
Oh,
Every game I've been to, the Jets have won.
I think I'm 50-50.
Toronto, they won that game.
Yep.
Dallas, they won that game. And then Philadelphia.
Hey, you're the hat trick guy. You were there for 2 of the for 2 of the 3.
I'm 4-4-1. So
I like how you have it in your phone.
I do. I keep all the games in where I sat, and the scores, and what I ate too. Actually,
Oh, wow.
This dates
you're,
back to
you're
year
odd.
one.
You're an odd
I
character.
just want to know.
Okay,
Because
so
if someone's like, "Hey, do you remember that game in that year?" and I'm like, "I was there." I'll tell you where I'm sitting and what I ate and in what period.
moving on, Tucker Poolman. University of North Dakota defenseman.
Yeah.
Was scheduled to sign with the Jets this weekend, actually, and play for them. However, he is having surgery
on his shoulder.
One
of the two.
4 to 6 months.
Yeah.
He's out for, and indeed did not sign with the Jets. So now comes into Winnipeg Jets fans being a little bit panicky because they like to be sometimes, and worried that they won't be able to sign him, that he'll play one more year of college, then be UFA, sign wherever he wants for however he
Actually,
wants.
as of this year, August 15th, he is a UFA.
Oh, he is a UFA.
It wasn't Jets fans. It was a certain Flyer fan who hopped all over it like 3 minutes after the article came out.
Because I've seen it all too many times.
I'm just saying.
I've seen it all too many times.
Man, you know what? You know what team really needs a good shutdown defenseman?
Yeah, the Flyers.
No, the Leafs.
The Flyers.
The Leafs.
All
and
of
they
these-
have more money.
All of the teams in this room right now that we represent
No, I
need
honestly,
a defensive defenseman.
I honestly believe that I don't think the dialogue would have been that open if there wasn't thoughts of him signing.
Well, apparently, if he hadn't been hurt, he would have signed and played this weekend for the Jets. That's allegedly what he's saying.
I think it was. I can't remember pinpoint when in the game on Friday. I'm pretty sure he didn't get crushed.
Was it the Friday game? Friday's the night.
It was their last game of the year. Yeah.
Because apparently the plan was for him to sign and play Sunday here.
I think he was playing injured because I can't remember. I can't pinpoint when there was a big hit where someone went through the board where like the glass broke, but I don't think it was him throwing it. I'm pretty sure it was a forward. But either way, North Dakota, they were playing Boston University. They went to double OT and lost. And Charles McAvoy has now joined the list of Cameron's most disliked players. And he's not even in the NHL yet, so.
Why?
What do you got? A long.
Because when he scored the double OT winner to send them to the playoffs for seeding to go to Frozen Four, Boston University, there was a dog pile when he scored. Then he got up and he skated by in Fargo where the tournament was being held, and he shushed the crowd. And I was like,
that cocky bastard.
I was upset. But you know what? If the tables were turned, I'd be cheering it, so I can't really get that mad.
Yeah.
But then a Boston University alumni did the same thing the next night. Jack Eichel shushing the Leafs fans when he scored. Ooh.
I'm okay.
I don't like Boston University anymore. Nothing that comes out of that I will support.
Jack Eichel is quite the player.
He's a point a game, eh?
Who? Jack Eichel?
Eichel this year.
Oh, very good. But back to Pullman. He must have been either playing injured or he got injured in that game. And he said he didn't want to sign. He wanted to see, basically he just wants to see, or he wanted to see his timeline and where he's at. Because the Jets wanted him to step in and play Sunday. Against former teammate Brock Besser.
But even if he's going to sign a contract, he's going to come here, check everything out, be with the team. If he's getting surgery, he's not going to come here.
Yeah.
So 4 to 6 months. Where does that put us? So it's end of March now. April, May, June.
He might be ready to go by the start of the season.
He might. Well, he might.
But he
be
can't
there
work
for
out.
training.
But he's not going to get a workout all summer, right? He's going to be rehabbing, which is a lot different than training.
Which could put him at a disadvantage. So
college season starts October. I think he's going back for one more year.
And do you think he still signs with the Jets next year? Because if he goes back, he can sign with anybody.
If as of August 15th, he can sign with anybody.
Yeah.
So
because I didn't know
trade his rights to Toronto.
They don't need to trade his
I didn't know this
until.
until.
Oh yeah, they can if they know he's not going to sign. Yeah.
I didn't know this till tonight, but he's from Grand Forks.
Yeah.
So if he plays for the Jets, he's basically playing in his hometown.
There's two teams who are competing
2 hours
against,
away.
but one of those teams tight on cap space and fully stocked on defense. So I don't. Minnesota.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like they always sign guys.
Allegedly, his intention is to play with the Jets.
Yeah. Yeah. It didn't.
So
basically, it just he wants to.
If he has surgery this week and doesn't sign in the next month, then maybe something's up.
And especially because it's the third year.
Or even maybe he doesn't sign in the next few months. Like he's gonna need a little bit of time to get to rehab, but.
But basically, this year also is weird because this is the last year that the Jets can offer him a contract and give him a signing bonus, which would obviously help in terms of like rehabbing and training. So, and obviously, if they sign, they can use the Jets facilities, which is obviously NHL caliber. From what I don't know, I haven't been to Jets work.
I'm assuming it is because it's got to be up to
well, I don't know. The Islanders don't have an NHL arena somehow, so I don't know how that works.
You do hear from all the players that come here how top class the organization is here. So.
Yeah, but that's the organization. Does that include? Have you guys been on a tour of like Iceplex where the gym is and everything?
No.
Yeah, me neither. Wonder what. Obviously, it's good.
I'm sure it's
nice.
nice.
I don't hear anyone complain about it.
But
not like JVR and the quality of the ice in Toronto.
Did he really
that guy. Every second game he's complaining about the ice.
It's okay. Weird. Thomas Vanek said that if the Islanders didn't move to Brooklyn, he might have stayed.
He would have stayed in New York?
Yeah, with the Islanders?
He might have.
Well, yeah, because he wanted to get another contract playing with JT after, right?
I'm just saying.
That's true. But anyways,
JT,
so
there's your
table,
big free agent this year.
I think he'll sign with the Jets. I wouldn't get your panties in a bunch.
You think he'll sign as well?
I think he'll sign and then go play in the AHL next year.
Oh, that's a good one.
I mean, there could be a spot for him, but he's a right-handed shot, right?
Third line?
I think so.
Well, Myers will be third pair.
You know,
unless they put Myers
is
on
he
the
drafted?
Right.
You know, they should draft this offseason too. Sign Pullman the day the draft happens, and then draft his brother Carter.
Right. Carter Pullman.
But I mean, Pullman, number 3.
You're looking next year. Then you look Morrissey, Trouba be your top pair. Do you do Myers, Bufflin number 2, and then you do Pullman plus a veteran guy as your third pair?
I do Pullman in the. I would maybe try him out in the 8 games.
Because Mark Stewart's still there next year too.
Then no, I put Stewart
Mark
over
Stewart's
Pullman.
the 8th guy next year.
I would.
You think?
I don't know.
I don't know why they haven't played him over post Montserrat this year. He's a better defenseman.
Pullman's good. Like he's very good.
Sorry,
don't get me wrong, but I would put him in AHL first to adjust to the speed because he's not the fastest.
Well, especially if he's going to be rehabbing all summer and he's not going to play till November, December.
Yeah.
Just let him go in the AHL for a bit, right?
The time, yeah.
Yep. So, any more Jets?
No, that's all I can really think. They're down 4-1 right now to New Jersey.
4-1?
Oh,
yeah.
You know, are we in the mailbag then? Because
yeah.
I have a few random things about mailbag. Okay, so first off, Red Wings can be eliminated tonight if they lose in regulation, and Toronto gets at least 1 point and Boston 2 points. That's quite a conundrum. So basically, by the end of this week, Detroit's
so history could be
out.
made tonight in 2 ways. Because the Red Wings could be out and Edmonton could be in.
Edmonton's not already clinched?
No.
And it's the first time in hockey Twitter ever that someone's like, yeah, with a win tonight, Edmonton moves into a playoff spot.
Easy, Greg, you're wrong. It's 4-2.
It's 4-2? Okay, well.
Who got the second goal?
I don't know.
Give me some shakes.
It's not on here.
So it would have just happened, that's why.
It's only 3-1 according to the goals that are scored, but it says 4-2.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, here. Well, I'll go through the notes I have. First off, Eddie Lack. Did you guys, in fact, see what happened?
Yes,
I did not.
Was it Athanasiou?
Athanasiou.
Yeah, I'll let Greg watch it while we're talking about it.
It was a bit of a... It was a breakaway
player
goal.
Push in... Yeah.
Yeah. Carolina don't push a forward into your goalie. Anyways, he laid there motionless for a number of minutes.
And his
Julian Melchiori.
And his... Well, no. Wheeler.
Wheeler scores
and
from Melchiori.
And his neck kind of went, like, in and backwards.
Yeah.
Basically, when you jab
good.
you jam your knuckle, but he did that with his head and his neck.
It didn't look good.
No, and so he laid there for a number of minutes, but he's all good. At least his extremities are good. He's got feeling back.
Neck strain apparently.
Yeah, so that's good. But anyways, we teased Crosby at the start of the show. Sidney Crosby this week nutted Ryan O'Reilly of the the Buffalo Sabres.
Why are we going to say the Boston Bruins? They don't get Ryan O'Reilly.
I know.
There's only one place that deserves a player like Ryan O'Reilly, and it's Buffalo.
Well, it's O'Reilly. I just think of like Irish people in Boston for some reason because they have a big Irish contingent there.
Do they?
Pretty sure,
they do. About that?
Have you heard the way they talk?
Yeah.
It sounds Irish.
No, it doesn't.
Sure it does.
By the way,
douchey.
Thanks. We're never going to Boston now.
I want to go to Boston. I would love to go to Fenway Park.
Hashtag last time Oilers made
playoffs. I'm reading it right now.
Trending in Canada, by the way.
Okay.
Nelly Furtado, or hashtag last time Oilers made the playoffs. Nelly Furtado was no longer like a bird, but instead like a man-eater.
I don't know who this person is because hashtag last time Oilers made the playoffs. I didn't know how sex worked. I still don't, but I didn't then as well.
Jeez.
Oh, that's a good one.
All right. So, did you guys see the slap or the nut tap on O'Reilly?
Last time the Oilers made the playoffs, I was bragging about Rob Schremp being the next big building block for the future.
Oh. Ooh.
Okay. Well, Ryan O'Reilly also... I'll just talk to myself. Ryan O'Reilly also slashed Mark Method and exploded the end of his pinky.
He's vicious.
But
I didn't see the slash, but was it a stick check that just missed, or did he like...
It was like a full-on, like, a harder stick check, but it was a little high, so you could have called the slash. But, like, my reaction was that slash does happen every game. It just so happened it clipped him on the pinky and exploded it.
Oh!
So do you...
Guys!
So do you deem that a suspension, or no?
No. If anything, me personally, I if they were going to call the slash, I would have, but they didn't.
Do you have another Twitter account?
Me?
I'm just wondering.
No.
Because someone put in this hashtag, they're like, hashtag last time Oilers made the playoffs. I was still peeing my bed. But wait, somebody quoted the tweet and said, are you supposed to stop? Hashtag asking for a friend.
Guys, I haven't touched my phone the whole time.
I know. How do you have this time to quote a tweet? Because only you say it's okay to pee the bed, whatever.
Okay, the score is drunk because it's actually 3-2.
What?
Yeah.
What is happening?
It's 3-2. So
Are you sure?
Yeah, right here.
So what the fuck? Okay, it's
They
3-2.
fucked up.
It's 3-2.
Okay, Sean Monahan now holds the franchise record for the Flames for most game-winning goals with 7. He's 22 years old.
Sorry, how long has he been there?
Like 3 years.
No one for the Flames has ever had more than 7 game-winning goals.
Who think about game-winning goals like...
Jerome McGinley, though.
Still, though.
No, but ever.
That's odd.
I mean...
Like, some guys have that many game-winning goals a year.
Yeah, Jonathan Taves. Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Pretty sure his game-winning goals is easily over 20 at this point.
Well, Jonathan Taves scores 9 goals a year, but 6 of them are game winners.
Yeah, that's true. And Jonas Gustafsson has become the 12th AHL goalie in history. He got a goalie goal.
Oh, cool.
He did it.
Where? AHL?
In the
Yeah,
AHL.
for the Bakersfield Condors.
Bakerfield Condors, yeah.
With the
Against
Moose are
the Moose?
playing right now.
Huh?
Was it against the Moose?
No, it wasn't. It was last week. Here's some injury or suspensions. Did you see Michael?
Did we talk about Mark Mathod's finger?
Well, we just skipped over while you were looking at.
Oh, I'm sorry.
While you were looking at peeing beds.
Well, no, that's something you like doing. I'm just letting you know that
Well, it's
there's
actually
other
pretty
people
good.
who think.
And from what I read, apparently he didn't chop his finger fully off. When he pulled his glove off, the rest of his finger came off.
Oh,
That's what I heard.
Neat.
So he only
these are
partially,
slashes that happen all the
he only
time.
partially
Yeah,
dislodged.
yeah. Like,
Have you seen someone's like, oh, because Eugene
But
Melnick
the
went
nut
into
tap-
rage.
The
I
nut
didn't
tap
see
the
the
game
nut tap.
before that makes it look worse than the next game. He's chopping someone's finger off. You're like,
Yeah.
okay, Sid.
But then,
Sid, you're gonna win the Rocket. It's okay.
but then Eugene Melnick went off and saying how he's never going to get suspended because of the type of player he is. But then somebody's like, yeah, Eugene, but then this is your team just showing the slashes his team does. It's a routine slash. Shouldn't have been a penalty in the first place.
1 in a million outcome.
Yeah, just seemed to cut a guy's finger off, which really whatever. Now you just got a nub and a really funny story.
That's fine. Mark Mathot next year, just take a whack back at him.
Oh, he will.
You might knock his finger off.
Or in the playoffs.
Except if that happens, you're suspended for life.
Yeah, you don't get back.
You don't touch Sid.
fun fact: there's only been one player suspended for an action on Sidney Crosby since he's joined the league. Who is that
Is
player?
it Dubinsky?
Nailed it.
Brandon Dubinsky, I believe.
That's it.
is who
Because they
is.
used to go after each other.
Yeah, he's the only player who's been suspended for an infraction against Crosby. Sorry, is the league really protecting Sidney Crosby?
No, I think.
All right, well, since we're all a bucket of fun right now, have you guys seen Michael Haley from the Preds? Did you see his hit? He got hit by Calle Yarncroc.
I heard
Little
about
dirty. Calle Yarncroc, skating away, puck still in the zone. Michael Haley gets up and just sucker punches him.
Oh, yeah.
Just clocks him. Got 1 game for roughing. When I saw that, and then I saw what he did, I was like, had it coming. He hit him from behind. I was like, understandable. I would have taken both.
Sucker punch, though?
Oh, come on. The way he hit him, though, straight up. It was from behind. He was falling, and then he hit him from behind.
It's no broken stick to the back of the leg, I'll tell you.
It is not a broken stick from behind the back of the leg. I'll ask you that in just a moment.
No, we won't.
That's fine. Roman Polak got 2 games for boarding on... Who did he hit?
Bjorkstrand. Oliver
Left
Bjorkstrand.
He's beautiful. Why would you do that?
No, it's okay. That means for 2 games, the Leafs decor actually improved.
Actually, Roman Polak's been very good.
Marchenko. He's good.
Polak's been good for
I didn't
20
even know
last
they
20
had
games.
Marchenko until last week.
Yeah,
I was like, what the hell?
It's a little moves.
Was it trade deadline or was it...
No,
Waiver wire.
waiver wire pickup, and then that allowed them to
Like a
move
long
Frankie
time ago?
Corrado. Yeah.
They freed Frank Corrado.
I mean, it makes sense. Babcock coached him in Detroit, but I just didn't know.
Oh, Rasmus Ristolainen got 3 games for interference on Jake Gwensel or something like that on Pens.
Yeah,
I didn't see
he's
this
the
one
new
there.
All-Star. He's playing on Sid's line.
Wenzel? Oh, he's the Kunitz of this year?
Oh, he's the suitcase.
Yeah.
Nice.
Kunitz.
Lucky guy. Oh,
It's him. No, it's him, Connor Sheary, and Sidney Crosby.
okay, I'm going to
Same
name
line.
some weird, not weird.
Because
crazy-
Kunitz is a free agent this year, so
Who is? Kunitz?
So Sheary and Gwensel are gonna pick up the slack.
What if the Jets signed Kunis?
No.
I can't support
He
that.
already played for the Thrashers.
I can't support that. Nicholas Backstrom. We already know he's good.
Which Nicholas Backstrom? The Swedish or the Finn?
The Swedish one.
Okay.
The centerman? Swedish one. Good.
He's definitely Swedish.
Yep.
The one that
He
plays
has
with Ovechkin.
7 straight seasons of 50 assists or more.
Okay.
Crosby also has 12 straight seasons of 30 or more goals in a row. That's a lot of goals.
Wasn't
Did you
Ovi
say
on
Crosby or did you say Ovechkin?
I meant Ovechkin.
Wasn't
Yes.
Ovi on a... Like, hasn't he never had less than 40?
No.
He's had...
Well, obviously, lockout shortened season doesn't count.
But aside from that, he's never had less than 40. No,
I
so,
guess
no.
not. Oh, Craig Anderson has played
unless he gets a
500
double hattie in his
NHL
last
games.
2 games like last year.
A lot of goalies hit 500 games played this year. Pekka Rinne, Carey Price, Craig Anderson.
Been a good year.
Bobrovsky and Dubinsky set... Or no, sorry. Bobrovsky set the record with most wins in a franchise for Columbus with 40 wins.
Yeah, 2010, 2011, he only had 32, then followed up the next year, 2011, 2012, with only 38.
So he's
Then,
never had less than 30.
then in the lockout shortened season, had 32, and then had 51, 53, 50, now this year 30. So every single year he had 65 one year. Holy fuck.
Yeah, he had a lot of goals.
He scores a lot.
Yeah, and Dubnyk tied franchise record 37 wins. When do you think the Jets are ever going to get a goalie for 40 wins? Do you think Hellebuck has it in him? In a season.
Well, the Jets have to win 40 games in a season first.
They've done it a couple of times.
Have they?
Playoffs, they won 40.
Wins, though, not overtime ones. Like
Playoff-
straight wins. They count as the same.
Nobody gets 40 regulation wins.
Yeah, they do.
Well,
no,
okay,
no.
I think your
a win's
goal.
a win no matter what.
I
because
think
you get the same
your
amount of points.
goal is 40 win. You want to have, but to make playoffs, you want to
The
have
year they made the
95
playoffs,
points.
they had 43.
Yeah, exactly. You want to
Wins.
be just over the 40 win mark, and you want to have that. You want to have about like between 40 and 45 wins, and between 7 and 13 OT losses.
Or you can
So,
be like Toronto
around
and have 15 over.
Hey, that's fine. Like I said last podcast, if they went to a regular wins losses, overtime losses didn't count as a point, they would not be in the playoffs.
Remember the
But
Jets
lots-
the
but
year
lots of
the
teams
Florida,
wouldn't make-
remember the
wouldn't be.
year one with the Jets how Florida had like 21 overtime.
Yeah.
That is so stupid.
But the thing with the Leafs, though, is just think how scary it'd be if they had won 7 of those games they lost in overtime. That's 7 more points, which means they would be chasing with Montreal right now for the Atlantic Division. So, and by the way, the funny thing about the Atlantic Division, Montreal once again defeating Ottawa. When Ottawa tries to creep in and take that Atlantic spot from them, they're 3-0 in the last 2 weeks. Against
Ottawa wants second. They don't want to play the Rangers. They want to play Toronto or Boston. I'm telling you.
Not
Yes,
the Rangers.
less travel, easier on your body, you're
Weaker
home
team.
more.
Yeah, except for the
How
fact
dare
that
you? How dare you?
historically, how well has Ottawa done against Toronto in playoffs? I just want to know. I want to know what the series is between those two teams.
The last 5
Oh, Toronto
series,
could
I think
definitely beat
Toronto's
them.
won every one of them.
Yes,
Toronto
that
could
is
definitely
correct.
beat them.
We all. I'd
Well,
much
Frederick Anderson-
rather
Who is
see
the only guy
Toronto,
that gave
Ottawa.
Ottawa a chance to even make the playoffs? You
This
guys are
guy,
like,
this guy,
never.
me, I was all over it.
they could win their
I was
division
all
this year.
over it. I was all over
Hey.
it.
And think about how much.
You were, seriously, we were
I
so
kinda-
against you.
I kind of hope Ottawa does play Toronto because I hope they just beat
They
the
are
crap
playing
out of each
Toronto,
other.
and then Toronto's going to swoopy swoop them, and then
No,
they're
they
like,
won't.
oh, can't catch this train. Swoopy swoop Montreal, and then they're like, oh, you smell that? 4 wins
no.
away from Stanley, and then Pittsburgh or Washington,
They-
you'd be like, we're too tired. Whoop, swoopy swoop
They
them.
beat 2 teams and they're 4 wins
Say
away
it
from
with
the cup.
me.
That's pretty
The
good.
Conn Smite goes to centerman Austin Matthews. Woo!
You know
Swoopy swoop undefeated
I like how you
season.
had the train wheels going
I'm in.
beside you the whole time.
You know who's
Check it.
the least were to win a Conn Smythe? The guy who would get it would be Frederick Anderson.
Actually, I heard a dark horse. Carrie Buss, friend of the show, said...
Kerry Buss is going to win the Conn Smythe?
No. He said
Oh.
his pick for Conn Smythe, if Toronto somehow miraculously won the cup this year...
Oh my God, it won't happen.
This year.
Okay.
He said...
Nazem Kadri.
Unky Leo.
Oh no!
Because Unky
It's because
Leo's...
he's Finnish.
No, because Unky Leo... Well, that too, but he's going to come through the clutch and get, like, every game winner. When Unky Leo's on the ice, they're like, oh, careful, Comoros right there. Shh.
So how
He
much?
loves to talk.
So how much does Kerry like watching Patrick Laine play if he loves Finnish players?
Oh, he's in his glory. He loves it. I'm surprised he doesn't own a Line jersey yet. He will eventually. I'm
He'll
sure.
own a Finland Laine jersey.
He's got a Finland Solani jersey. He's had it like since I've known him.
probably bought it at a young age, and it's just fit him ever since.
Oh,
That's
he
true.
wears. Oh, you know what? If we're playing this game,
He's still waiting to grow into it.
he has he has shirts that he got in grade 7
I love
because
you,
we
Carrie.
used to have the same.
No offense.
We used to have the same shirts because he got it for me. AC/DC, we salute you. And he was wearing it like 3 weeks ago when I saw him. Grade 7. How old are you in grade 7? 13?
Do you know how much money that guy
He's
saved?
25.
12.
Oh, unbelievable.
12 in grade 7.
He's 25
Do you
now,
know how
guys.
much money he saved?
Oh, unbelievable amounts. Unbelievable. You know, like when you shrink a sweater, it still fits Gary because he bought it a size big.
My girlfriend shops for shoes in the kids section. It's like half price.
Oh, it's fantastic.
She gets like Nike runners for like $50.
That's the best.
You have a girlfriend we don't know about?
Is that a fiance?
Yeah, it's a fiance. What a douche.
How dare you?
You're not
How
using
dare
the
you
proper
assume your
labels.
status? No, what
You're
is
not
that?
using the proper labels. It's like someone not using the proper pronouns. How could you do that to a person? Fix them.
She's calling me, so maybe she's calling me to yell at me.
Oh no! We're all in trouble. Okay, wait.
Abort.
What are we calling the parade now? You changed it last week. Nico's nonsense.
No.
No.
Here's your hopefuls.
He's your hope.
Here's your
That's a
hope.
good one. I like that. Go ahead. Give me.
Oh, now you like it. Last week you hated it.
I don't dislike it, but Nolan Patrick also got injured, so in his playoffs, I don't know if he's playing tonight.
Oh no.
So his draft stock's not looking great.
Getting injured twice in the same
Oh wait,
season
do we have
is never
comments?
good. Yeah. Do you want to do he shares hopefuls
Yeah,
first?
go.
Let me get there.
Oh, cool. We're not prepared. I get it.
No, I'm not.
Preparedness is next to godliness, Greg.
Okay.
Silence is golden.
These teams have all been eliminated from the playoffs. Evidently. Dallas,
Is there's fifth?
5th. Then
Fourth.
Vancouver, then New Jersey, then Arizona, then Colorado.
God, no! God, no! Don't!
This year
Do
going
not!
to
No! No! You can't do it! Don't let Devils win and let them drop. Let them drop to 9th. Can it
What's
happen?
wrong with the Devils?
No! I want to watch these guys flourish. I don't want to watch them flounder. They're awful. I don't like New Jersey at all.
Okay.
They're very boring.
I was having this discussion with a friend of the show.
Okay.
I think it was with Matt. It might not have been.
Let's
with
not
Matt.
give him the credit.
I'm not going to give
His
him the
head's
credit.
getting a little big.
It is. He's a douche.
I
Regardless,
didn't say
of
was
that.
a
I
little
didn't say
strange.
that one.
well,
I didn't say it.
I'm allowed to say it.
Okay.
He can try to reach my head. He's a little short to be able to do
Oh,
that.
that's...
Hey-o.
There you go. Okay.
Regardless.
The views are an express.
Yeah,
Greg
do we-
Patrick?
No.
Do we have a disclaimer right now?
Yeah, we
No.
gotta make one.
I'm just taller than him. That's all it comes
Sure.
down to.
You're taller
Okay.
than everybody. Are we douchebags?
No, but
Well, not when we're sitting in front of him.
yeah, you guys don't know what I say about
yeah,
that.
clearly, I noticed.
Who's going to play for the World Championship team for Canada?
You know who GM's gonna be? Unky Ronnie! Ron Hextall! He's apparently the front runner. You know what that means? A top line of Shen, Couturier, Giroux. Screw you, Sydney, you're not invited. You're never invited.
He's in the playoffs, so why would he go?
Good, that's great. I hope, well, hey,
Hey,
Giroux's gonna be in the European playoffs. The World
let me
Championships.
think. Before we get last week, we talked about the U.S. women's hockey team boycotting their women's championship.
They came to an agreement like 10 minutes ago.
Did they?
Yeah.
Okay, that would have nice news to have.
I didn't want to interrupt.
Okay. So
Yeah, I
they
got
came to an
notification.
agreement. So if that didn't happen, the men were also going to boycott the World
So I just
Championships
ruined
this year.
Greg's whole bit. So sorry.
No, you didn't. But I just remember that we want to touch on that. So now that's null and void because they're not going to boycott it. So that's nice to see.
Because the men had threatened to not go either.
Exactly,
right?
that's what I was getting to. But with the teams not in the playoffs right now, you have the possibility of Duchesne, McKinnon, Bergeron. If Boston doesn't make it, Bergeron. Then you got Giroux, and that's just a few of your centers.
Shifley.
Shen,
Shifley.
Couturier. Say it. Say it. They're centers.
Sean Couturier,
And Brady Sheneman will be there too.
Breen Shen.
Hey, remember when people used to complain that Sean Couturier was a better player and we should have drafted Sean Couturier?
Yeah, I remember
Not
that
anymore.
too.
They're different players.
I lost a bet.
They're
on that.
different players.
They are.
Different players. But
I don't think
The Team
I don't
USA
think Shifley beat Coots once in the face-off out the other day.
It's
by
a
the way.
4-year.
That's the only thing the Flyers
It's
won.
a 4-year contract with Hockey USA.
good.
Okay, beautiful.
So do you think that, and then Ben and Sagan as well. So do you think that Team Canada, with the players they have, do you think they could make a run at the World Championships this year?
Again?
Because-
Yes.
Yeah.
Sure.
100%.
Do you think all the players are going to go? Think about this. If realistically Tampa misses it, you could have Stamkos. With LA missing it, you're going to have Doughty. You're going to have Carter. You're going to have Bishop.
Wayne Simmons.
Wayne Simmons.
Wayne Train.
Right. I can't believe I forgot him.
Oh yeah,
Got very excited.
I forgot about him too.
Oh, the connection. T. Dot.
So who
Travis
goes for D?
Konechny.
No, he's not making that
It's
team.
gonna be the Flyers and then players Hextall.
No.
So who goes for
What it's doing.
So who goes for defense then?
Luke
Doughty.
Shen?
Doughty.
Oh,
No,
well,
not.
Hey, comparable players.
They're not comparable.
They're Canadian and they both play D.
Jake Muzzin,
Yep.
Drew Doughty.
Do you think Morrissey has an outside shot, or do you think
I
he's too
think
young?
he could. I think he could play.
Beautiful.
I think he
Think
could.
so?
I think he could be there.
Yes.
If Toronto doesn't make it, obviously I could see Morgan Riley being there.
Oh, sure.
Mitch Marner would be there.
Let's not talk about Toronto because they're winning the cup.
Evander Kane.
I mean, yeah.
Why not?
Well, if Ron Hextall's
Tavares?
in charge, why not? Tavares. They're not in the playoffs?
No, Islanders
They're
right
a
now
couple
are.
points out.
Okay.
They're a threshold team. Jordan Stahl was there.
Jeff
How
Skinner.
about Florida?
Jeff
Huberdeau?
Skinner. Huberdeau.
Marchessault, whatever his name is.
Oh, dude, that guy's there every year.
Aaron
Good
Ekblad.
Brad said.
Good. Oh, fuck. Good Branson.
Yeah.
Aaron Ekblad if he's healthy.
Yep.
Okay, wait. What was the condition for their Wings to not make the playoffs?
They
They had to lose.
had to lose, and Toronto needed 1 point, and Boston needed 2.
Okay, well, Detroit's losing 3-0 in the third period. Boston and Toronto are both up 2-0. So I think
Fuck you, Boston.
I think history's about to be made.
Oh, my.
For the first time in our lives.
Oh! Are the commercials coming out yet for playoffs?
Have you guys seen some of them already?
No.
Oh, they're so
Well,
good.
I saw one with Gretzky. I shut it off. I
No,
was
no,
like,
these
nah,
are
I'm
like
about this.
it's the narrator for the 24/7 series, and he's talking.
Oh, Leaf Schreiber.
Oh, he's so good.
Goon.
He's the goon guy.
Did you see Goon
He's
2
so
yet?
good.
Yes, I did today.
Good?
Very good. Very high. Watch. Good. Very
It would
good.
have been nice if we got the invite to go watch
Yeah,
it.
it would be.
I told you guys it was going.
Yeah, after you went. Or
No,
after-
I told you
after
we
you bought
advance.
tickets.
I didn't buy them. I bought them today.
All right,
Hey, can you record the
busy.
podcast Tuesday? No, I'm going to a movie. Okay.
comments.
Go.
Hey guys, Nick and CT here. Yeah, some folks in the past have mentioned how they feel Last Minute Podcast should cover more of the Jets, but there's only so much content to cover on one team, especially in a lackluster season. Thank you, it has been a lackluster season.
Yep.
Like in the intro says, covering Winnipeg hockey, Jets, Moose, etc., and the NHL, Ryan Lang seems to not understand, though. And Ryan Lang did apologize somewhat. He said,
Yeah.
Thanks for responding. I guess I was a little hard on you guys, not talking about the Jets all the time. I guess that's valid. Well, thanks for making fun of my grammar. That's okay. Anyways, thanks for putting my points out there, and keep on doing what you're doing. Oh, one more thing. Are you the same guys that did the Jets stream podcast? Because that one had video of these guys that sound kind of like you. The reason I ask is because their podcast stopped at the end of 2015. Not us. We've never done
No,
it.
we
There
actually-
were imposters?
No, theirs ended when ours would have.
No, we started 2014 summer.
What we actually did, I didn't want to say this, but we murdered them. Their corpses are in that closet, but you can't see what closet I'm pointing at
'Cause we're
because
not-
you don't know where you are. You'll never find us. No, I've actually never heard a Jet Stream podcast, to be honest.
We're not even using our real names.
Racist Fan Rocks commented,
Best name ever.
Mr. Luke said he'd try to contact you guys in episode 127. He didn't. He didn't do it, and how does Luke know Cam's last name?
I've said it multiple times
You
on the
have?
podcast. Have you ever seen me tweet? Because you can go to our Twitter and find Dan and I's Twitter. Greg's MIA. I don't know what's going on
I
there.
left Twitter.
Yeah, he sure did. That's why when he takes screenshots of stuff and sends it in our group, it's off of Twitter.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
have
Anyways,
It's true.
You can
He
find.
like direct links Twitter.
Yeah, literally. Yeah. No, our names are off there. Also, that was my bad. I commented actually on a couple YouTube links myself. But
See, when
I-
Cam logged in, he forgot to change his name.
yeah, that's it. But anyways,
Tough times.
I didn't check the emails for like 3 weeks, and then we had 3. So I'm like, oh,
Did
wow.
Luke comment
Okay.
in that 3 weeks?
Oh,
We
no.
did. We read it last week.
Luke commented again. So Cameron says, well, I think outside of a couple guys like Ovechkin, Kane, Matthews, etc., Grudas is probably the most mentioned non-Jets player on the podcast in the past half a year. I love it.
That actually is true.
He is
I don't
mentioned a
think
lot.
we've mentioned Patrick Kane a lot. Or is it?
Evander Kane most
Oh,
likely.
Vander Kane, yeah.
Probably.
We do mention him a lot because he's a fantastic defenseman.
He's
Classic
okay.
classic can move, mixing Dan and I up, as Luke comments. I mixed Dan and Greg up, by the way. I retract my insults towards Dan and redirect it to Greg. Although his frustration rants.
I wish it was a real person.
God, you guys, this is bullshit.
I don't even remember what he said. What was he
Greg, you know what that means? It means you pissed Cam off more last week, so now he hates you.
It's all because I picked my other friend group over this one.
Yeah, apparently. Yeah.
Lastly, mark my words. As long as you guys are still doing the podcast come next season, I'll be in town for Philly, Winnipeg. Well, you were in
He's coming on the show. Luca will be here.
Okay, if...
Change of plans. Let's go to the Royal Rumble next year, and let's go find Luke.
Ooh. Dude. Yeah? Let's do it.
We could. Maybe the Jets will play the Flyers around that time. I don't know.
Yeah, no, our luck. It's like Winnipeg is in Luke.
Philly's in Winnipeg.
Philly is in Winnipeg.
All right.
All right.
So we're gonna end with one of the promos.
This is copyright, by the way.
Perfection.
It's going on
It's
YouTube.
not unblemished.
It can't be in the last one, Kiffin.
It's too late.
It's not pristine or delicate. It's not defined by any one name or achievement, but redefined each year by new names, new champions, new legends. Forever etched into this scuffed and scarred yet still beautiful silver skin. It wears each scratch, each nick, as a badge of honor. A testament to time spent in the grasp of heroes. 125 years and counting. Perfection is this perfectly imperfect grail.
New champs, new legends. They probably made that commercial in 2012, and then they're like, shit, Chicago won it again. Shit, LA won it again. Fucking Chicago. Now they can finally use it.
Yeah, Stanley Cup.
Oh, I was just going to mention, too, by the way, so the last time that the Red Wings didn't make the playoffs, do you know what happened later that year that also hasn't happened since that year? Bombers won a Grey Cup. I'm just saying.
Oh, could you imagine?
I'm just saying.
I always said after 25 years I'm done. Like, I'm done, like, pooping on the
Bullshit, you
Bombers.
gave them crap last year.
No, because it was the 25th year. I had to cheer
26.
against them.
Ah,
no,
yeah,
last
you're
year's
right.
25th.
You're right.
Yeah.
So...
I won't, like, I'm clearly going to cheer against the Bombers, but, like, I'm going to lay off, because I just wanted it to hit the quarter century mark, because I just wanted it to be, like, 25 years in an 18 league. That's awful.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they did some good off-season signings, I think. They signed Chad Owens. Oh, wait. No, that was Saskatchewan.
Why would they sign him?
Did they?
He's not good.
He's talented.
No,
you
he's
just
not.
hate him so much because his best games of the year come against the Bombers. That's why. Because their team sucks.
Did you guys actually sign him?
Yeah. Well, you guys, I'm not a part of Brass. Yeah, I made that phone call. Like, hey, sign the Flying Hawaiian.
Do you support the Vince Young signing?
Yeah, I do. Vince Young played football once.
He did.
That's all I know about him.
Did.
He was also on the cover of Madden 2008.
He's Young Infinity. He wears Young and his number's 8. The Young Infinity.
No, he actually wears 10, doesn't he?
He wears number 8 for the Rough Riders. Because number 10 is a player who also played for the Bombers once, Enoch Mwamba.
Enoch.
Enoch Mwamba.
I think. Don't quote me on that. I don't even pay attention to CFL. There's
Probably
2 games I watch a year. And it's the Riders and Bombers, Bombers and Riders.
The home opener is in Saskatchewan this year between Winnipeg and Saskatchewan.
I knew that. Ask me when it is.
It's the first game in the new stadium.
When is it?
There you go. First game in the new stadium.
And is not their preseason game the first preseason game against Winnipeg also?
Probably.
I think the Bombers are the first team that plays.
Oh, now they're double dipping.
They're double dipping.
Don't double dipping. They got a new stadium, I know that.
Something else.
About hockey?
Yeah, it was hockey.
Oh,
related.
well, we only have 2 more weeks. Well, you're fine. Dan and I only have 2 more weeks where we're allowed to, like, talk about our team on the podcast.
Yeah.
Guys,
Because then I gotta pack away all my Flyers hats and bring out my Giants gear.
I'm not jinxing it. I can't jinx it.
How many points are they up? 3 right now? 3 points up?
3 points up, game in hand.
On Boston.
On the Boston.
But they got the Islanders, the Lightning, and the Hurricanes all right behind them too, right? Within
Yeah.
5 points.
Yeah.
There's people nipping,
tight.
and with Frederick Anderson.
Depends how
You
long
can see they're
Anderson's
nipping at the
done.
buds.
Oh, that's what I was gonna say. I've been.
All I'm gonna say is TSN's fully on this train because their top 10 today was just Leafs. It was
That's
the
right.
top 10 Leafs moments.
Except, can people? I don't know who they are, but I keep hearing it on Twitter.
What are you saying, Aaron? I don't know who you are.
I don't know who you are.
I don't know where you live.
Regardless, whoever thinks they should trade William Nylander, just stop. They're not trading him. They should never trade him.
Yeah, they are. They're trading him
he's
to
the worst of
Winnipeg,
the
and
3.
Winnipeg's going to package Will Nye, the scoring guy, and Connor Hellebuck, and the Hutch's clutch to Montreal for Carey Price. And a second-round pick.
William is...
What's Toronto getting? I don't know.
He's clearly
Maybe
the
Chiron.
worst of the 3 rookies, so they have to get rid of him.
Yeah, clearly.
Yeah.
Clearly the worst
His
of the big
shot
three.
is awesome.
Tough company to be a part of. You're going to score 60 points and everyone's going to talk about...
Is he Michael Nylander's son?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's how it... Okay.
I'm pretty sure it was
And
Dave...
his brother's drafted
that's who it was.
Buffalo.
It was Dave freaking Poulin who was like, yeah, they should trade him because his value's high. This is why you work on TSN and you don't work in a front office for a team anymore. Is because you make stupid decisions and you're part of the reason why the Leafs sucked for years.
That's
is
why
because
Dave
you
Poulin-
didn't know how to make proper decisions. Trading a guy like William Nylander is not what the team needs.
That's why Dave Pullen's the guy that fills in on the panel.
Can I read you a
When
quote
someone's not
off
there.
a guy who is on the panel from time to time, but just writes articles? It's Greg's favorite guy. Let me finish a quote and then say who it's about. He's inconsistent. He goes through long stretches of unproductive, indifferent play. This was about Kasperi Kapanen. Kasperi Kapanen's longest points drought this season is 2 games. Yep. Who said it? Who was the TSN analyst who said
Jeff
it?
O'Neill? No?
Nope. Jeff O'Neill would never say that.
Oh, okay. I don't know.
Craig Button, of course. Your favorite guy.
Really?
Yeah. He said Kasperi Kapanen, long stretches of unproductive, indifferent play.
They've also had to...
Battle injuries. Leipzig's been in and out of the lineup because with injury problems.
So if 2 games...
Kasperi Kapanen
So
is
if
a
2
strong
games
player.
is an inconsistent point gap, then when Matthews didn't score for a month and when Laine didn't
But
score
it's
for
his
Craig Button actually
8
suggested
games.
to trade Matthews to Florida for Michael Matheson at the time.
Oh.
No, he didn't.
March's show.
Alexei Mush.
Where did he come from?
I don't know.
He originally played for Tampa. And then he's like, I kind of like this state of Florida. It's nice
I don't
here.
have to pay taxes.
He's going to score 30 goals this year.
Wait, I guess, I don't know if we've looked into this, but, okay. So say hypothetically Marchessault is Canadian, right? When he comes back here, does he have to pay taxes?
No, because he didn't earn it. That's why you have a visa to earn money in the States. It's the same as if you go to Australia. Let's say you got a work visa to live in Australia. You're paying your money to their government. It's the same as if you win the lottery in the state. Well, technically it's different. If you win the lottery in the States, because it's not money you earned, technically, it's money you won, you don't get taxed on it here.
In the States, you do.
And if you're... For us, lottery winnings don't get taxed. Only the interest you gain off of those investments. If you invest the money, then you pay capital gains tax. But in
that's
the
why
States,
if you win, don't invest. Just spend all of it real
but
fast.
if you won like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, you only got $750,000. Sounds like a small amount of money. Still a large amount.
And Price is
That's a
Right.
life-changing amount of money.
Everything you win on the Price is Right, you pay tax on.
Same with Wheel of Fortune. You get like a brand new car, anything. The
The guitarist from Killswitch Engage was on The Price is Right like 2 years ago, and he won like he won whatever he had to win to get up there. Then he won his first prize, which was like a car, and then he won the showcase. And he said he sold like almost.
Joel Armia just had it.
Yeah, he said he sold almost everything he won because the taxes were ridiculous.
Yeah, it's like, because essentially they're saying that you won this amount. They transfer it to like a dollar amount. You won this money. So a lot of people who win. A lot of people who win stuff on The Price is Right can't actually ever claim it because they don't want to pay the income tax on it.
So they just keep recycling the same prizes. That sucks.
Yeah. Little known fact, but if you want to talk to us on the show, you can email us at LastMinutePC on Twitter. I'll never see it because I don't have Twitter. You can email the show, lastminutepodcast@gmail.com.
I think Greg's Luke.
Why would I ever want to talk about Gudis?
Look at that stupid smile on his face, Dan. He's Luke.
I'm not.
Why would
he? Face.
Why would he insult his own? Oh.
Yeah, to make it look like I'm the bad guy. Because it's not me. It's not. I want Luke to be on the podcast so bad because I want to meet him. I'm going to give him a hug and try and kill him. He's ruined my life.
I've clearly missed the boat because I could have easily have created a character and made us think that it was Cam. This would have been awesome if it was actually...
Yeah, you just have proper grammar. That's really it.
I sit here and I could be like...
Punctuation, really.
And mention Gudis a lot, and we could have all turned on Cam and been like, that's you.
Oh, like you haven't all year already?
And then I could sit here one day.
Fun fact. When we get really mad and are talking about hockey, or we get really fired up and like messaging about hockey on like Facebook, we type all in caps.
Yeah.
So every time I type Gudis now, my phone just auto caps the whole thing.
Mine does it for every Flyer player because whenever I text, I'm like, "Yeah, baby!" Auto caps. It looks like I'm yelling, "Gudis!"
Pretty much it.
Cam has 911 on speed dial. Not to actually dial 911, but to talk about Provorov and Connect Me.
Somebody call 911.
Check out our podcast wherever you get podcasts, whether that be Google Play, iTunes podcasts, or your podcast app on your phone. Last Minute Podcast, as always, we'll be back next week with an even better show we can hope for. So, see you guys next week.